So you're thinking about getting one of these, or one of these. I'm sure a lot of you have been in the same boat that I have, where I'm sitting there on YouTube looking at a new piece of shiny gear and be like, damn, I want that. But is it just gas, or it's going to be gear acquisition syndrome, and I'm going to end up regretting buying that because it's just going to sit on my shelf in a pile of dust and me having never touched it again? Because most of the music I make is going to be on the computer anyway. Well, let me give you a piece of my insight that I think will definitely help you in deciding whether you should buy a new Groovebox. What's up guys, my name is Cyrison, and to give you a bit of context, I've been making music for about 10 years, mostly on Logic on my laptop with a MIDI keyboard. I've done a lot of work for clients and a lot of work for myself and also for other musicians and just different projects where all of the work pretty much has been done within my computer. Not gonna lie, I didn't need any other equipment. So why am I sitting here with this guy and that guy? Why am I sitting with these things if I don't need them? First of all, Black Friday sale. It's the GOAT. Second, I wanted to try something different. I wanted to spice things up because I was feeling pretty uninspired for an extended period of time. Whenever I open up Logic, I suddenly just see this blank DAW page, and I'm just like, huh. I have no idea what to make. It sort of continued on for a while, you know, I was sort of sitting there like, damn, I don't really know what to do, you know, it's just, and I tried reading books, watching movies, going out, and I was having ideas, but it never really solidified. I've always been, you know, the type to be positive, you know, trying to be like, hey, you know, if you sit down, even if you don't have a concrete idea, if you sit down, sort of fiddle with it, it'll work out. It wasn't the case. And so I bought the MPC Key 37 with the direction of trying to get back to where I started, which was making hip hop beats. I was expecting a couple things, but really I just wanted to give it a try. Honestly, it just looks so cool, and I was like, hey, it's Black Friday. I have some stuff saved up. Why don't I just... Now, before I get any further, title says legit music tool or just a toy. Editor Cyrison here. So if you can't tell, I changed the title. I still left this section in because on the topic of gas, I and a lot of other people seem to try and make the justification for purchase being that, yeah, it's a legit music tool that I'll actually use in my process. Not saying that it won't be, but also saying that it doesn't have to be. It can also just be a toy, and that's perfectly fine. Spoiler alert, it's technically a legit music tool, but it's more useful as a toy. And let me explain why. Well, if you look at the MPC Key 37 or the SP-404, they're Grooveboxes that are capable of making tracks all within themselves. If you like pop batteries in this thing and I take it to a park bench, I could literally sit there and make an entire beat. If I have my mic with me, I can literally record a short verse on there. There you have it. You have a track, right? You can sing, you can rap, you can do whatever you want. You can even make fart noises, and you can put it all together and export it and release it for the world to hear. The MPC is basically a DAW in a box, right? It's a machine/box. Create tracks. You can record instruments, vocals. You can mix and master. And you can also share those tracks for the world to hear and enjoy. So, like I said, there are very legit music making tools. And if you just had the MPC, I bet you can produce a whole album with vocals in it and release it. Like, it just wouldn't be a problem. However, I think they're more useful as a toy. And here's why. What is a toy? I mean by toy in the sense where they're meant to play with. When I sit in front of a DAW, I'm looking for a result. I'm human, right? If I sit down to do something with intention, with purpose, I would like a positive result, right? When I sit down with the MPC, I'm sort of not really in that same headspace. I don't know if it's the workflow or if it's the fact that it's just like a different machine, or I don't know, but it sort of takes the pressure off of music creation in a way that I was not expecting. I sort of was looking to incorporate it into my music workflow and making like hip hop beats, or like maybe even electronic music, or like house, techno, that sort of thing. but it ended up just being a lot of fun. Like, I sat down, I went through the YouTube tutorials, I, spent hours and hours experimenting and trying to really get it down pat, which I have. I'm really comfortable with the machine now. I'm super comfortable moving around. I could do pretty much everything that I could do in a regular DAW, with some limitations, of course. But it's just been me making cool beats, like just sampling random stuff from YouTube, Splice. Any piece of audio that I think is cool, I'll just throw it in there, chop it up with some drums, a cool break or something, add some effects, some layers, bass, and like it's a beat, and like I'll freestyle over it, I'll just chill with it, I'll have fun, I'll add it to like a playlist that I'll use for YouTube. It's just me enjoying the process of creating something from nothing. It allows me to just play, make mistakes, and just have fun with it. It's funny because it's like doing music that isn't serious seems like it's moving in the opposite direction of making music that is serious, aka intentional, with the intention of being palatable to a wide audience, intentional in the fact that you're looking for results, sort of thing. Since this part was being very uninspired and sort of, hard for me to do, focusing on this actually made this so much easier to do, because this inspires me and it gives me a lot of fuel. And also, being so close with the manipulation of the audio and getting really like in touch with what you're doing, it feels more personal than using a keyboard and mouse. Like the parameters and all of it's more tactile, and there's certain things that like you just got to do by just pressing buttons and moving around. It's the little things, but they do make a difference. I think that it's also ignited a spark where I'm becoming more excited about making music in general. It's less of a process of, oh, let me sit down and see what I can make today. It's more of like, I sit down and whatever I make, it's going to be cool. Like with the MPC, I just sit down, I throw something in there and I try something. And even if I didn't have an idea coming in, I'll end up with something because I'm just having fun and playing, right? It's a toy, right? It's a toy. It's a very advanced, cool toy, but it's useful. You need something like that in your process. I highly recommend it. And the same thing with the SP-404. All of the advantages that I got from the MPC, I got from the SP-404, where it allowed me to explore a different workflow, get inspired, getting more in touch with the music. And this thing is literally like, this is all buttons. Like you see, this is literally all buttons. So you're very tactile and very in touch with the music that you're making. This thing is cool because it's portable. You just throw some headphones in there, right? If you have a mic, you can have a mic. I could sit on a park bench. I can go anywhere. I can go on vacation and literally just record like a cool track. I can rap, sing, do whatever I want. And yeah, it's got all the inputs. I can use it as an audio interface for my laptop. It's really cool. One fun thing I actually do with this thing is I'll take one sample, chop it up, make a beat as usual, but then I'll take one of the melodic chops. I'll sort of take one little thing. I'll filter out all of the other things that isn't that thing, and then I'll take that thing and then make it into a brand new instrument that I use on top of the beat that I made. So it's almost like I'm making a whole bunch of melodic elements with just one sample. And you sort of have to do that. You're sort of like nudged in that direction with this thing because all of the samples that you have on there, you either have to directly put on there or sample yourself. So sometimes you just get creative with what you have, and it encourages you to do that because of the limitations. And some people call it very limited. I like to call it very focused because it's here to do a very specific purpose, and it does that purpose very well. It inspires me to come back and to make other cool stuff, even if it's like a completely different genre. I just notice a difference in the way that I make music after like interacting with one of these things, even though they're entirely not part of the process of what I make music on the computer. It just somehow makes a difference. I can't really explain it. Unfortunately, getting a piece of gear like this does not make you a better musician. And it is true. It is, despite everything that I said, it didn't make me a better musician, right? It just sort of helped me get in the flow of things of what I can already do, right? You get better at what you're doing by doing it more, which is just making music in general, like, you know, just keep doing it. Like, that's like the best way. Focused, consistent concentration over time. It's like the best secret, right? It's the best secret hidden in plain sight. And number two, like I mentioned, I spent a lot of hours like investing time into the MPC and into the 404 to actually learn the workflow. And that's the reason why they were helpful to me, because I wasn't really frustrated with the machine. I wasn't feeling any limits or difficulties. I pretty much learned the scope of what these machines could do, and I was just using them to the best of my ability. Like, I pretty much had the workflow down. I knew what it was capable of and what it wasn't, and I was sort of working within those boundaries. A word of advice to anyone who's looking to get a machine like this: if you do decide to get it, expect to invest hours and hours of learning the machine to make it yours. If you do not, it's going to be pretty hard to get a positive value out of buying it. I think so, in my experience, because with these machines, I feel such a positive effect from having experienced the workflow of these machines, but less because of me learning to use the machine, but more of me knowing how to use the machine and experimenting a lot. I can say that I bought them. I've been using them for a while. They're not on a shelf collecting dust. I very much use them enjoyably and in tandem with what I'm doing. Everyone will tell you, you know, it's gas, right? Like, don't waste your money. Like, the best tools are like the tools that you have, and everyone's telling you that, and those are very valid pieces of advice. I don't want to put them down, but here's me telling you that it might not be gas. You might be onto something. So if you really want to try something out, prepare for the worst and just give it a shot, man. So for those of y'all who are hesitating on getting a machine like this, you know, just pick one that looks really cool. Invest the time that it takes to master it, or at least get a really good hang of it. It made me having more fun as a musician, and I think it can for you too. Thank you for watching.